Listen up, guys. If she's suddenly pulling away, going cold, or seeming distant out of nowhere, your gut probably tells you she's losing interest, maybe seeing someone else, or that you messed up big time. But hold on. What if it's actually the complete opposite? What if her creating that space isn't because she's checked out, but because she's feeling way too much? And this is where it flips everything. You think you know. There's one behavior that almost every guy interprets as she's over it, but it's often the strongest indicator she's catching deep feelings. I'll get to exactly what that is soon. But first, you have to get why men are wired to totally misinterpret these cues. Because when a woman starts falling hard, she doesn't always lean in. She sometimes pulls back to protect herself. If you read that wrong and chase harder, you could push her away right when she's trying to process her emotions. I'm breaking down the key signs that distinguish real disinterest from her being emotionally overwhelmed. Plus, the one move you should avoid at all costs when she goes distant. Because doing it even once can trigger her deepest insecurities. This isn't just hopeful advice. It's rooted in understanding how women process intense emotions in dating. Hang in there. Because around the middle, I'll explain the brain science behind why women who are falling the hardest can seem the coldest. And it's not what most guys assume. Let's dive in. The real reasons she acts distant and why it can actually be a positive signal. Why she pulls away when her feelings are growing strong. The psychology might surprise you. Imagine this scenario. Everything was great. She was texting nonstop. You had those fun inside jokes, deep late night talks. Then the vibe changes. Texts get shorter. She's busy more. There's a guarded edge to her tone. You start worrying she's slipping away, so you amp up more messages, more effort, trying to reassure her, and somehow she pulls back even further. Here's the counterintuitive truth. When a woman senses she's developing real, deep feelings, her protective instincts can activate strongly. Vulnerability in modern dating can feel risky. She's likely been hurt before, seen things fall apart, or felt out of control emotionally in the past. Now with you, those intense emotions are rising again. The openness, the loss of control, the fear of getting burned. This ties into a concept from relationship research where intense emotions during conflict or attachment can lead to feeling overwhelmed, almost like a stress response where the body goes into self-protection mode. Her brain registers the vulnerability of falling in love as high stakes, spiking stress hormones, prompting her to create distance to regain balance. This isn't games or manipulation. It's a natural response to protect against potential rejection. And interestingly, the stronger the attraction, the more intense this pullback can feel. That means the key isn't to push harder. It's to recognize the difference between fading interest and her processing big emotions. But one sign in particular is so misunderstood. that it'll change how you see her behavior entirely. Coming up next. Have you ever noticed she seems cooler with you, but warmer and more open with others? If that rings true, keep going. This isn't rejection. The misunderstood sign that actually points to strong feelings. This will shift your perspective. Quick favor. If this is hitting home and challenging what you've heard about women, smash that like button. You deserve clarity on this. Here's the sign that often means she's feeling a lot. She might come across as more critical, teasing, or direct with you compared to others. Not mean or disrespectful, but less filtered. Why? When interest is casual, she stays polite and agreeable, keeping her full personality under wraps until she's sure it's safe. But when feelings deepen, she starts relaxing into the real her. Teasing, calling out little things, showing flaws. Subconsciously, it's like testing if you'll accept her authentic self, not just the polished version. This aligns with ideas in relationship dynamics where deeper investment leads to more genuine and sometimes challenging interactions, as she's treating you like someone who's already close. Guys often misread this as rudeness or disinterest, but it can mean she's letting her guard down. Now, for the deeper layer, for additional signs. She's overwhelmed by emotions. The fourth one is especially telling. If you spot it, handle with care because rushing could backfire. The 4 signs. She's emotionally overwhelmed. Focus on. Number 4. Sign 1, she pulls back on direct contact but stays connected indirectly. No more initiating texts or social media likes, but she views your stories quickly or checks in subtly. She's creating space physically, emotionally, but hasn't detached. This reflects an internal push-pull, wanting closeness but fearing the risk. If you went quiet for a bit, someone deeply invested might check in out of concern. Sign 2, strong reactions to small things. A cancelled plan hits harder than expected, or delayed replies lead to coolness. This isn't just being picky. It's a sign of high emotional investment. When feelings run deep, small actions carry big weight because they feel like tests of reliability. Sign 3 hints at the future, then backtracks. She mentions something down the line. We should try that place someday. Then adds a qualifier like or whatever if it happens. That's caution overriding excitement. She only floats future ideas if she's already picturing them. The pullback is fear of jinxing it or getting too hopeful. Sign 4, the standout one. She downplays you to her friends. When it's casual, she might share everything openly, but with strong feelings, she minimizes he's just a friend or it's not serious. Why? Admitting it's big makes it real. And real means vulnerable to hurt. So, she protects by acting nonchalant. How to spot it? Her friends might seem extra observant or awkward around you. They know more than she's saying. If that's happening, it's often because her feelings are significant and she's scared to fully own them yet. The Biggest mistake guys make here and how to avoid pushing her away permanently. When you sense she's overwhelmed, the urge is to reassure, confess feelings, or push for clarity. Resist that. Pressure, even positive, can feel overwhelming when she's in self-p protection mode. She needs to build trust at her own pace. Instead, offer steady consistency without demands. Don't chase excessively. Seek constant explanations or withdraw punitively. Stay reliable. Respond warmly when she reaches out. Check in lightly without heaviness. Mirror her energy gently. If she's engaging sporadically, match that rhythm to show understanding and low pressure. This demonstrates emotional maturity. She sees you're stable and not needy. The timing factor, what comes next, and why patience matters. Women processing intense feelings often have an internal gauge for safety built over time, not days, but weeks or months of consistent behavior. They need proof you won't panic at distance or cling when she's closer. It's not manipulation. It's verifying emotional safety for vulnerability. The payoff. When she feels secure, the walls drop. The distance fades. The guardedness melts. And she often starts pursuing more. As trust grows, the internal conflict eases. Love stops feeling like a threat. And she embraces it fully. That's turning fear into deep connection. Final thoughts. Why this matters. It's tough when someone you care about seems to pull away. You want openness and reciprocity, but intense emotions can show up in complex ways. She's not avoiding because she doesn't care. Sometimes it's because the feelings are overwhelming. If you respond with patience over panic, you create real safety. That's building something lasting. Not just winning her, but understanding that profound love can be quiet, cautious, and need room to unfold. If this clicked for you, comment. Thank you to let me know you're tuning into this deeper side of things, and subscribe for more breakdowns on relationship psychology.